So we're taking a look at the patch notes for the next patch, 10.11, and I suspect we all have some ideas of what cards might be changed. I haven't looked at these yet because I like doing this live, so we can make fun of me later. Now let's take a look here. This new resource exchange. Okay, let's see what that is. Trinkets, contracts, yeah, resource exchange. Trade reward points for meteorite powder, ore scraps, or ultimate kegs in this new feature. I am so excited about this. Trading the reward points for the meteorite powder. This is really good for people who play a lot and you have extra reward points. And you like spare reward points when you filled out all the trees. So for me, this is really good. I'm not sure how many people this benefits, but it's nice to have this in the game. Might be nice to have a way to change some of these. Looks like you can only trade reward points for these. So extra scraps still seem like they do nothing, but I'll have to take a look when it comes out. We'll take a look at it. So changes, neutral, okay. Igni and Yrden, let's see what we've got here. So default power from 35 to 40 and 20 to 25. I mean, this actually just makes perfect sense since as we've gone on, these numbers have been easier to reach. So it's been easier and easier for Geralt to like hit enough stuff compared to when he first came out. So this makes sense. And Yrden deploy melee, reset all units on a row. Adrenaline 2 resets all units on an allied row. Oh, that is a huge change. Hold on a second here. I don't even know. Can any decks even play Yrden now? I don't know if Yrden's playable. Because you'd always last say this. The only decks this works against are like Death Wish, where they're already boosting, and Knights, where they're already boosting. You can't last say Yrden. So if we just killed him completely, it was probably coming at some point. But Yrden's probably unplayable now, except maybe like you're in self-wound or something, where you'd want to reset your own row. I don't know. I don't think we're going to see Yrden anymore. Igni nerfed. I mean, kind of expected. Although I see no Renfrey here, so that makes me unhappy. What else do we have? Monsters, Tyrannalia, split into 2 orders. Okay. Spawn and play Red Riders, good. So it's nice to have these separate. So the devotion effect to spawn. Okay, so we've added a devotion effect to spawn melee and ranged rows. Real quick here, I should check on the current version because I'm not sure. Let's just open up the library real quick. And we go to Tyrannalia because I think it's... Yeah, so we have a non-devotion effect. Right now, the order is devotion. So what we're doing here is we're adding a non-devotion effect. So the Red Riders is a non-devotion effect. I'm not sure if you'd want to run Wildhunt without devotion, just because of Conqueror and Oberon and stuff. Let's see what else we have. For Skellige, oh, that's the only monsters change. So I think monsters is in a really good spot here. I still would like to see Witch's Sabbath get Sabbath, just because it's so annoying, but whatever. Skellige got Patricidal Fury. There's not a lot of changes here, are there? So, spawn a deafening... Oh, they changed Patricidal Fury. Spawn a deafening siren on enemy row and damage it by 1. Charges 3. Okay, so you can spawn 1 siren whenever you want. So you can get a Bloodthirst out at any point. And 3 charges. Once they're all used up, spawn and play Arnulf. Gives you more flexibility. So you can still do the same thing as before if you want to, but now you can sprout the Bloodthirst. This will really help Bloodthirst archetype. This really helps out. Feral Bond already did. Now you can go like play Feral Bond, do this, you've already got 2 Bloodthirst. I really like this. It's a really neat change. Reckless Flurry damage from 3 to 4, charges from 3 to 2. So we're nerfing Reckless Flurry. Not surprising. It's kind of the default ability a lot of the time for Skellige. Oh, we now have ability on Arnulf, so 12 to 13, and he spawns a Siren. Okay, so when you use the last charge, you get 1 Siren out with 1 damage, then Arnulf makes the second one with a damage. So he plays for the same amount, but he just gives you an extra Siren. Again, that's really handy for Bloodthirst. Now we have Sov getting changed, 11 to 12. Wow, who saw this coming? Ability change to deploy melee. Summon a beast from your deck to the opposite row and infuse with Death Wish, boost the enemy Sov. So he gains immunity after the melee. So if you resurrect him, he does not have immunity. I have no idea why he had immunity. It must be a lore thing, I guess, but Sov is now significantly weaker. Although I don't actually see any buffs for Skellige outside of the Patricial Fury. So I guess we're going to have to be playing the Bloodthirst stuff, otherwise Skellige's just weaker. Okay. So it's much worse now. The deploy is what makes it really bad. Because you used to like set your Sov up, and then you can just wait until you use the order when you wanted to. Now you just have to use the order when you play him. Although this is really nice with the new Patricial Fury. So I think overall it's worse, but I'm not sure this is going to be doing, how well Skellige will be doing right now. Depends how much Nilfgaard gets nerfed, right? So let's see, we have Northern Realms, Kennet and Guard, provision from 9 to 7. Yeah, Kennet and Guard's a cool card, but it's so expensive. So this is a really good change here. Reaver Hunters, provision from 5 to 6, and Scout from 4 to 5. Alright, so the Reavers got 4 provision nerfs here and 2 buffs on the Guard. They didn't run this, so maybe you can fit this now, but with 4 provision nerfs, it's going to be a lot harder to fit in all those things that spam out the Reavers, which is perfectly fair. This is still be an annoying deck, but their deck will have much less like big cards in it. Maybe they have to cut something. Maybe they cut like the Queen of Dahlia to a 6p to fit these in here, or whatever they're running. There's a bunch of different versions of the Reaver Hunters. We'll see. But this is a probably good change. And let's scroll down. Here we are to Scoia'tael. Let's save Nilfgaard for last, or don't peek. So, Guerrilla Tactics. Damage is from 2 to 1 and boost from 2 to 3. Alright, so we're finally done with Milva Sharpshooter here. No longer doing 4 damage as a good removal tool. So that is going to hurt Scoia'tael quite a bit. Because most of Scoia'tael decks, at least I see in play, are Guerrilla Tactics. So, but the boost for moving is better. So if you get 9 points if you're moving your own stuff, they want it to be like more of a move synergy. And they want the Guerrilla Tactics movability. It looks like they want this to be like more of a, what do you call it, control tool than like removal, which makes sense. But you only reach 3 with Milva now, unless I changed Milva. I see her name down here, but I didn't read it yet. So yeah, this is fine, I think. Although, I'm not sure those movement decks, we'll see if they buff anything else. Frog Mating Season from 9 to 8. Yeah, it plays for good value, but it doesn't do too much else, and it's kind of expensive. Was it like a 10 for 8 when you play it, and you get the frog value? You get 2 4 provisions, then 4 tokens. It's a 12 for 8. That's good value, but you really want to get some value of those frogs. Milva Sharpshooter, 2 to 3 power. Yeah, without being able to do 4 damage, that's a big cutoff for the Guerrilla Tactics stuff. I'm not sure how well that will play. We will have to see. Shaping Nature. Each boost and vitality increased by 1. So what is it? 6 boost and 6 vitality. That's actually quite good. That's a boost 9. And then there's what, 7 with Veil then? Well, maybe you'll see play. Symbiosis got some really nice cards in the last patch, but it's just overshadowed completely. Like, it just auto-lost to Yrden. I guess Yrden's gone now, so maybe we can do something there. Shaping Nature. Yep. Dryad Enchantress now has Symbiosis. Okay. Power from 4 to 3. So we get more vitality and more armor with Symbiosis. Okay, the Symbiosis is a really nice change. So it plays for the same overall, but the Symbiosis really helps. I'm really glad to see this. I think you can play this in these decks now. More all in on the Symbiosis, because there weren't all that many Symbiosis cards. Like you could, if we look for a second right here, as we already have this open. Symbiosis. That is not how you spell that. Actually, it is. There's like 5 cards. So adding another one is just really nice. So that's good to see. Maybe it'll help the deck out, right? Having only 5 cards in your archetype, considering it's a Symbiosis. Nature's kind of count for this, but having only 5 units that are Symbiosis, pretty bad. Anyway, Pond Keeper provision cost from 5 to 4. Yeah, I think that's this one, right? Yeah, this one, I think I mentioned this when I tested the deck out. This one just seemed expensive for what it did. At 4, much more tolerable. Quite nice to see that. So those are good changes. Both being Symbiosis. I guess we're nerfing Guerrilla Tactics. We'll see. This doesn't change Harmony too much, although you did run Milva, so I guess maybe you cut that for something else now. Nilfgaard. All right, let's see. Let's see if we're going to get anything interesting here. Imprisonment. Provision modes from 15 to 14. Yep, that makes sense. It's one of the best leaders. Just having that lock on demand is amazing. It's such a good control tool. Even if the value is not that high. Milton boost from 4 to 3. That is okay. So he plays for 1 less, and then 2 less if you're using his order for his own ability. It's fine. Traherne. 3 to 5 and 6 to 8. Yes, this is a really good change because Traherne as a 6 provision at a 6-piece slot, you just slot in a card that has like some % chance of automatically winning the game. Because if you just play this card, your opponent's playing a deck, say they're playing Forgotten Treasures, and you just see it and you discard it, game's over. So this really was too cheap of a card that just won you the game. And it's been played like this for like years. People just slot in Traherne, and oh look, I hit the good card, now you lose. And I think it's really good to see this change like this. Sure, you can play in mill still. Thankfully, there's not many mill players around, but as a 6 provision card, it was just way too many decks. Like, you just put this in pretty much every Nilfgaard deck at this point, and it just had a chance to win the game on the spot if you discarded their key card, which is not how we want the game to be played. At least not how I do. Pikeman power from 3 to 4. Yeah, this is really good to see. Pikeman really didn't do anything. The new one after it got reworked, it was too weak. 3 is just too small. You can amnesty it, you can kill a dwarf. There's a lot of ways to kill 3 damage. 4, yeah, they might have to play control card on it or like have damage set up, but at 3 it was just everything killed it. So glad to see this getting changed. I don't want to do any editing. All right, here we go. Let's see what we have. Spotter. We all knew this one was coming. Provision cost from 5 to 6. Sure. Order change 2. Lose all armor. Look at the top units of your deck up to that amount. Choose one, gain 5 tiles because power. So what essentially we do is once you've used the order, you lose the armor, and it costs an extra provision. So that armor is really... The armor was amazing versus Reavers, which got nerfed pretty hard. And the armor was amazing versus stuff like Dwarves and Skellige that did random damage. Outside of that, though, this card's still pretty strong. You still can't kill it until they've used the order. So they're getting, what, like 12 for 6? This card's still really good. I think it's still good. We'll probably still see this. It just depends on how much this lose all armor is. I don't think it's that big a deal, honestly. You lose points against Reavers, and you lose points against like random damage decks, but I don't think it's too big a deal. I think it's still good. You still get all the info. Oh, you don't see the opponent's deck. Never mind, that's really good then. Yeah, I missed that for a second there. Yeah, you don't get to look at the opponent's deck anymore. That's nice. So it's spotting your deck for you, not the opponent's. Maybe it's a little bit of a... It's kind of... The information you gained was so strong from this. Okay, I think this is pretty good then. We'll see. I think it's still a decent card. Probably still see played because the value is just so high. And gives you knowledge for what you're going to draw, but doesn't give you opponent's deck knowledge and loses the armor, so extra provision. It's a lot of nerfs, but Spotter was so insane, it's probably still decent. Syndicate. Oh, here we go. What do we have? Sigi Reuben Mastermind. Man, I'll be honest here, when I revealed this card, I thought this thing was insane. I figured it'd get nerfed, but yeah, it looks like that's the case. So Sigi Reuben Mastermind, provisions from 12 to 13. Deploy change 2. Look at collusion and ram unit from each deck, then play 1. So we just lost the, let's changing the deploy ability. So no matter what, you only play 1 unit. Well, that kind of kills collusion. It's kind of sad. I guess you'll have to find another way to play collusion. So, no, the tribute should stay the same. Deploy, look at collusion, every ram card from each gang in your deck, then play 1. Versus look at collusion, ram unit from each gang. Okay, so it's a unit from each gang. That's the difference. So if you're going to play Tunnel Drill combo, you have to be playing collusion. You can't like play Tunnel Drill random crime card in like a mid-range deck and then get Tunnel Drill going off. You have to play collusion, and then you can still play Tunnel Drill, but you can't get another unit. It also means you can't let like your Tide Cloak card, or what is it, the one that creates a 4-version fee. You can't get that one, which is sometimes the only Tide Cloak in your deck. So okay, so this is I think this is fair. I think this is fair. If we're just changing the deploy, the extra provision definitely warranted. I have no idea why this came out as a 12, and we're only changing the deploy, so this is fine. If you're running, you can do the exact same things if you're running collusion with 1 less provision, and otherwise you just can't do this in non-collusion decks, which is fair, I think. And that seems to be all of the changes for the cards here. Not too many, if we're being honest. We'll have to see how this turns out. Renfrey's still amazing, and everything else getting weaker means she just gets stronger, although her main decks are Vampires and Imprisonment, which did get nerfed, especially with the Spotters. That's 2 provisions there. But we'll see. I think we'll still see Renfrey quite a bit. Reavers did lose 4 provisions. It's pretty big. Sov got massively changed. I'm curious to try out the Patricital Fury stuff. That'll be really fun. And other than that, though, I think we'll play more Symbiosis. Without Yurden, it's much better. And more changes here. Mulligan cards can no longer be abused to gain card advantage. Honestly, I don't know how you did that. No longer use immune. Yep. Okay. So this is interesting. Overall, pretty decent patch. We'll have to try this out. Not as many changes I'd like to see, but there was a card drop recently, so we'll probably get more changes in the next one. Although I think the next one might be another expansion. There's another expansion this year. So we'll see. Overall, though, I'm curious to try this out. I really want to try out Patricital Fury and the Symbiosis. We'll have to see how good Harmony still is and how much Nilfgaard is going to hang out. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I meant to come out earlier, but the patch notes weren't up till, well, pretty recently, so I didn't get a chance to do it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.